Hello guys, welcome back to a new video on the channel. Today I will be giving my thoughts on the latest transfer news going on in this week. So Declan Rice, Caicedo, Kovacic, Havertz, I'll be talking about all them and maybe a few more. So let's start off with Declan Rice. So he's been the main candidate for Arsenal's midfield. Arsenal do want to sell a fair few players this summer, so Declan Rice would be a fantastic addition to Arsenal, or to any team really. So he's definitely going to be a major addition to Arsenal, and he will definitely help their midfield out. And I do think he would sit in that number 6 role perfectly for Arsenal, because I do think Thomas Partey lacked a little bit of consistency. Like, it was good for the first part of the season. However, second half, Jorginho came in this role, and he did very well, Jorginho did. So I do personally think Declan Rice is going to be an upgrade in that role. I wouldn't necessarily say Arsenal should finish their midfield business right there, because obviously Xhaka's going to be leaving. Bayer Leverkusen are close to signing him. So I wouldn't. If I was in charge of Arsenal or on the Arsenal board, I'd be saying you need another midfielder. Who's going to replace Xhaka? Because Xhaka's had a fantastic season. He's been better in that advanced role, in the number 8 role. He was a liability as a number 6, and look how he did last season in that number 8 role. Probably his best season in an Arsenal shirt, or even his career. And I know it's only one good season out of like the 6 he was there, but at least it shows what he's capable of. And if he's leaving, they need to replace that immediately. Rice won't do that in that role, but in the number 6 role, he's definitely going to add more stability to that midfield, because I think he is a lot more consistent. Declan Rice, he's been doing it for West Ham since he was brought into the first team, got the captain's armband, he's matured, he's a good leader, got a good attitude. Maybe a bit overpriced, 100 mil's way too much, but that's English tax, isn't it? So he ain't any more than like 60, 70 million, that's what I would say. But that's the problem nowadays with football. You have to pay so much for a footballer because of what the clubs demand, but it could pay off. But there will be a lot of pressure on Declan Rice to perform very well, especially if Arsenal get into close to 100 mil, which is what's been rumoured. Carrying on with Arsenal then, that's Declan Rice. Kai Havertz has also been linked to Arsenal. Personal terms have apparently been agreed. Chelsea won around 70 million for Kai Havertz, which I don't really think's sensible, especially because he's been very poor this season. He's not worth 70 million, he's probably worth like 40 max, maybe even 30, 35, because I don't think he's consistent enough to be worth that much at all. I don't really know what to think of this transfer, to be honest with you, because it just depends on what happens with Arsenal this summer in terms of who they sell, because I think they will definitely sell a few players from all over the pitch. But if we're looking at up front, which is probably where Havertz will probably play in that role, competing with Jesus, Balogun will probably go. Clubs like AC Milan, Inter Milan have been after him. I wouldn't be surprised if Eddie Nketiah goes, because ever since that little stint he had in like from December to late January, he's basically done nothing really. Because Jesus has come back and he's done well, Jesus. He hasn't scored loads of goals, but he scored like 15 actually. He scored close to 15 goals, Jesus, but Arsenal fans will want a striker or someone who can score like 20, hence why they want like Vlahovic, which will definitely not happen. But how will Havertz fit in? I don't see... I'm just confused and a bit unsure about this, because don't get me wrong, Havertz could benefit with a move away from Chelsea. Maybe he needs to seek a new project or something to get his career back on track, because he's clearly not lit up at Chelsea, has he? Because he's been playing in the wrong role all this time. Playing in striker when they had like Aubameyang, who should have been playing a lot more. Aubameyang wasn't even that bad, it's just the fact that he should have been playing so much more, and then Chelsea were wasting points by playing Havertz up front, and he was doing awful most of the time anyway. Havertz is not a striker. Chelsea were playing him like a striker, where he's not. He's basically a number 10. He was playing in that number 10 role at Bayer Leverkusen. Look how well he did then. That's why Chelsea got him. And he can play. I guess he can play the centre forward role okay, like as a false nine in that front three. If it allows him to get back into deeper space and get him into the box, then fine. Havertz is a good finisher. It's just that he has to stay up in the box up front. He's got to stay in them high positions. That doesn't suit him. What suits him is playing further back. So maybe Arteta can do that. I don't know. I guess he could because Arteta's quite intelligent. So it just depends how he plays him. Havertz is not a proper striker, so yeah, I don't know if he'll fill that number 8 role that Xhaka left. He could battle with Odegaard, to be fair, because Fabio Vieira's not exactly been fantastic, apart from like the odd goal he scored and the odd assist. But apart from that, Vieira's been quite shocking. It wouldn't surprise me if he's offloaded somewhere and Havertz comes into battle with Odegaard, which I think could happen. Havertz would probably be better playing in the number 10 role anyway than be up front, so I don't know, to be honest. Moving on then to Moises Caicedo. He has been a hot topic as well in the summer transfer window. Brighton are going to miss a fantastic midfielder. Another midfielder who looks set to leave as well, McAllister, who has gone to Liverpool. I think he'll flourish there. I think Klopp will get the best out of him. But going back to Caicedo, I do think Arsenal would have been the best call for him, but Arsenal have pulled out the race. I don't know if it's because Caicedo's actually chose Chelsea or because of the price tag put Arsenal off. Maybe it was the price tag, I don't know. But I don't really know. I think Caicedo will benefit Chelsea, but it could be a situation that happened with Cucurella. He went for a big price tag, had a good season, and now he's not good. I don't know if that's going to happen with Caicedo. I don't know. But he's definitely talented enough to go to Chelsea. Fans will say it is a downgrade. It is off this season. But I don't really blame Caicedo, to be fair. I think he is clearly excited by the project. Pochettino's going to be there. They're signing Nkunku. Chelsea look like they're going to have a major rebuild. So Caicedo will clearly see Chelsea as an upgrade. I wouldn't say that's an upgrade right now, but overall it is, because I do think Chelsea will get back in the European race next season. Top 4 they won't, but I will say top 6 is a definite for Chelsea. I can't see them finishing top 4 straight away, but Caicedo will definitely run that midfield. I think he'll be a good replacement for Kante, but 70 or 80 million even for Caicedo, I don't know. Because that price tag's going to be, he's going to put a lot of pressure on Caicedo to do well week in, week out. He is quite versatile though. He can play in that double pivot, number 8, even as an inverted right back as well. Because he did play right back towards the end of the season as well, and he clearly did alright there. So I'm not really sure if Caicedo's made the right choice. I think he would have been better at Arsenal, because if Ben White was going to move back to centre-back, which I think might happen, he could clearly fill in that role at right back to battle with Tomiyasu, and he can even play in the 8 role and number 6, so I think Arsenal would have been the better choice. You never know, Arsenal could come in sniffing, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen because Arsenal have apparently pulled out. He will definitely help the Chelsea midfield because there's a lot of deadwood there. The only good midfielders Chelsea have really got are Enzo Fernandez, and Gallagher showed up towards the end of the season, but I think he needs to keep that up next season. But Chelsea are going to lose another few midfielders. Kovacic I'll get on to in a minute. Loftus-Cheek looks set for AC Milan. Zacharia's gone back to Juventus. Chelsea's made a massive mistake with sending Zakaria back. Unless Chelsea get him back on loan for another season, which I think is what they should do. Zakaria was probably, along with Enzo, I think he might have been their best midfielder. I really do. Enzo was good. He wasn't like out of this world like he was at Benfica and at the World Cup, but he was okay. Fernandez was okay. But Zakaria, my goodness me, he was so good when Kante was out injured and playing in that role. I think when he played his first Champions League game, it might have been against Dynamo Kiev or something. No, it was it was. No, it was Dinamo Zagreb who it was. He was fantastic in that game. And even against Man City at home, I think, in winter, during the winter period, he was good then. Chelsea have clearly made a big mistake. Juve are going to offload him again like they are with McKennie and Arthur, who have come back as well. Caicedo can definitely fill in the boots for Kante, because I think when you saw that performance he had against Chelsea when Brighton won 2-1, it was clearly a fantastic performance from Caicedo. So I think the versatility will definitely help Chelsea, because I think it is what they need to have balance in midfield and have options who can play multiple positions. So it might not end up being that bad, but it's hard to say at the minute because obviously the price tag is massive and you don't really know what to expect with Chelsea. Clearly, with what because of the season they had, finishing 12th was very embarrassing. So Chelsea need to hope for the best really if Caicedo does come, because I think Chelsea will definitely improve next season, and I think Caicedo will definitely help them with that. Now finally I'm going to move on to Mateo Kovacic, who looks like he is going to replace Ilkay Gundogan at Manchester City. £34 million is rumoured to be the price tag from ESPN. I do rate Kovacic. I think he is a good midfielder. Underrated, I think, is the right word to call him. He may not have been fantastic this season, but I think he's definitely been under the radar for the last couple of seasons. So I think he will be a great option for Pep Guardiola. He comes with experience, Premier League experience. He's won the Champions League a couple of times as well. So I think to replace Gundogan and bring him in, I think it is a good transfer. So, and with Gundogan looking like he's going to go to Barcelona, it looks like he's rejected a deal to go back to Dortmund. I mean, if I was City, I'd try and keep Gundogan with the way he was playing, but I think he's on the retained list to go, to be released. So I like the transfer of Kovacic to Manchester City, to be honest. I just think having someone who... He won't play every game, Kovacic. He'll play a fair few games, to be fair. He will play quite a few. And I think that's actually one of Man City's smartest transfers in recent seasons. Not that they haven't been smart. They have. Their signings have been very good, obviously, this season with Haaland, Akanji. So I do personally think bringing someone with that experience and who can help that midfield out, I think it is a good transfer for Manchester City. So, especially if they get Josko Gvardiol, which I think could happen if they're going to sell Laporte. Walker's been linked with Bayern as well. So I do personally think City are going to have another good transfer window like they always do. They have had the rare bad signing, but I do think Kovacic to Man City does scream a good transfer. I think it does make sense for that experience in the side, and he is very good on his day, Kovacic. So, right, that's all from this video today. Thank you guys for watching. I'm going to try next week and do some more reaction videos. So I'm probably going to give my reaction to the first Ashes test between England and Australia when that's done, and also to the US Open when round 4 finishes tomorrow at Los Angeles. So thanks very much guys for watching. I will see you in the next video.